Gar. A man stops in his path. His name is Baek Dohyun. There is someone in front of the boulders. Its eyes are glowing red. It is a tiger. It is roaring and coming towards the man standing in front of him. The man calmly addresses the tiger and tells the tiger that if it thinks he is easy to deal with. The tiger then jumps at him. The man grabs the tiger and, on the same rock from which he arrived, throws it back, telling the tiger that he is not a tasty prey, and the tiger is just wasting its time. In the mountains, people are running. They are searching for someone, but they cannot find anyone. The soldier does not know where the documents went. Someone might have disguised themselves and must have run away with those documents. He then orders everyone to scatter and continue searching. Baek Dohyun is hungry, has nothing to eat, and no money. Plus, he is homeless now. Just then, he notices something. It is a plant. He is happy to see that plant. He plucks it out, stating that it is a rare ginseng plant, and if he sold it, he would be rich. Thinking that there would be more of them, he looks and searches around. While looking around, he hears some noise. Were they robbers? He hears them talking about finding something, or else they might get in a lot of trouble. One of them then notices someone in the woods and shouts, "Who is there?" He rushes into the woods and knocks him down. The person in blue says that he almost broke his back. The person in red thought that he was nothing special and became nervous for nothing. He then looks at him and tells him that he is a very unlucky person and that he will die before he can make it to the main street. He tells him not to blame them for whatever might happen to him. Baek Dohyun stands up and tells them to stop speaking nonsense. Nonsense, he asks. The person tells them that they have all gathered in the mountains at this hour and are talking nonsense. He asks them if they are robbers. The others get angry hearing that. One of them comes forward and tells him that he is Jo Jae-gang, who served the master, and shouts at him for mistaking them for robbers. At the top of his lungs, he shouts at him not to dare talk to them like this again. He then attacks him, saying that the mouth of his must die. But to their surprise, one kick from him sends the other person flying. This shocks their leader. He is confused and asks why he went flying as he just moved his foot. Their leader thinks that he is really good and if they fought him, they would definitely lose. He then goes to him and tells him that there has been some misunderstanding. Baek Dohyun asks if he is getting robbed. The man in red tells them that they are not robbers, but he denies accepting that. This makes him angry and tells him that he is going to end this in a good way, but since he has such a big mouth, he tells him that he will punish him for the insult. He then goes to attack him, but a single flick from his feet sends him flying into the air. He then gets mad at all of them and starts hitting them one by one. The moon has risen. Baek Dohyun checks all of them for supplies. He still thinks that they are robbers. He checks their belongings and thinks that they do not have any money for robbers. While passing through the forest, one of the soldiers from the search party earlier is shocked to see them. He cannot believe that all of them are unconscious. The elder is shocked hearing this. His advisor tells him to calm down, but Elder Lee Tae-jun cannot. He says that he cannot stay calm after finding out that someone hurt his subordinate. He thinks that someone must have planned this, and if the blood horse hears this, they will be in great trouble. The advisor wonders how Jo Jae-gang knew about this and where they got their information from. The elder asks him if the Murim cared about it or not. The advisor tells him that they definitely did not. So they wonder who could have done that to Jo Jae-gang and how dare that person use force in front of the Murim. The elder talks to someone about this situation. He tells him that he also does not know the specifics, but as knowledgeable as everyone is, the confidential documents were carried in the normal cart, and the men who attacked the cart were Joe J. Gang. A search party found them unconscious, and when they brought in reinforcements, they were all gone. So the elder asks the person to reinvestigate it. The person tells him that he had already quit and was just a senior instructor now. The elder tells him that it does not matter, as it is an order. He then adds that the blood horse is acting weird. This piques the person's interest. The elder had heard that the blood horse was preparing for something, and their power was rapidly increasing. The cart that was attacked this time was a secret that only a few people in the Murim League knew about. So, it is possible and suspicious too. The man tells him that he will look into it, but tells the elder not to expect too much from him. The elder also asks him to investigate who did that to Joe J. Gang. Baek Dohyun reaches a town and plans to find a clinic first. There are people fighting. "Surrender now," says one of the group. But he says, "Never," and attacks them. The clash lasts for a while. He manages to defeat them and slices the final one standing. During the final blow, he manages to cut off the wall as well. The building is collapsing. He then calls his man and runs away from there. The people are ordered to catch them, and they start chasing them. The building where they were fighting has completely collapsed. The girl over there is surprised and confused about what happened to the building. It was her house. She starts crying, thinking, who would have done this to her house? Her house had collapsed, and now she only had the clinic. How can I continue living like this, she thought. Just then, Baek Dohyun arrives. Seeing the condition of the lady, he wonders if it was really a clinic. It looked like a regular house. He opens the door slowly. This wakes up the lady. She greets him and tells him to follow her. She wonders if he saw her in that sorry state. Her name was Dr. Shin Yumi. With the bone in her hand, she was quite unhappy to see that he only came there to sell that bone. He tells her that it's not just a bone, it is a tiger claw that can be used in medicines. The lady tells him that she knows it could be used in medicine, but she does not have the means to confirm if it is really a tiger claw or not. "You see, I'm really a doctor, I can't recognize it," he asked. She was furious hearing this. Was he referring to her as a charlatan? She tells him that it is so hard to study the human body, so it is not realistic to assume she knows the anatomy of all the animals in this world. He is bored hearing this and then takes out some herbs from his bag that he had picked up and tells her that he really needed a place to stay. Her face lights up, seeing the leaf. It was the 7-leaf ginseng. He tells her that he had plucked it on the way to the village and asks her how much it would sell for. She considers them. Normally, it is 2 or 3 copper coins, but since it's in a bad condition, she would give him 1 copper coin. He says that it is too cheap. 7-leaf ginseng is rare, but that's the right price, she told him. He had really thought that she would pay a lot for that. Just then, some people come to the clinic asking if it was really a clinic. She tells them that it is really a clinic and her name is Dr. Shin Yumi. She then tells them to wait for a while if they are okay with it. She adds that this is a very good and cheap clinic. Baek Dohyun asks her why she was smiling like that. He tells her to buy that leaf from him and give him that 1 copper coin as he needed to buy something to eat. He then tells her that he would evaluate the rest later and calculate again. She takes the leaf and gives him the 1 copper coin. She then tells him to go if he is done and calls the next in line. She asked the patient where they were hurt. One of the patients tells that he was hurt on his stomach. She tells them that 1 acupuncture session can heal him. So if he wants that, she invites them to come in. Seeing the acupuncture needle, the patient is quite scared. She starts smiling and starts the acupuncture session. After the acupuncture session, the patient can't believe that they are healed. His stomach isn't hurting anymore. Suddenly, she gets back to her seat and thinks that she is a really great doctor. She then looks at the 7-leaf ginseng and thinks about its condition. Just then, someone arrives at the clinic. She asks if it's for cleaning. She says yes. It's yet another patient. The patient tells her that she has internal injuries and asks her to help her. Hearing this, she quickly invites her in. She takes her up and tells her that she's very lucky as the wound is not that severe, and she's lucky that the medicine will work for her. She then offers the leaf to her and tells her to take it, and once she takes it, she will be cured. The patient asks how much it would cost. She tells her that it would cost 1 niang. This is too expensive for her. She tells the patient that she could get it today and get the treatment tomorrow. She tells her to eat the root. The patient eats the root. It's very bitter for her. Dr. Shin tells her that it is very good for health even though it is bitter. The patient is shocked after taking the first bite. Shin is startled by this and asks if it's not working. The patient tells her that it's quite the opposite. Her stomach doesn't hurt anymore, and her body feels very light. She tells the doctor that she's very talented. Shin seizes the ginseng. She notices that it's the new 7-leaf ginseng. The patient asks, 7-leaf ginseng? Isn't that the same as normal 7-leaf ginseng? Shin tells the patient that she's really lucky because she ate the 7-leaf ginseng. But since it's expensive and she didn't know what she was eating, she would give her a discount. The patient runs away after hearing the price and tells her that she will pay her after she becomes rich. Shin goes running after her. Back at the mountain where Baek Dohyun had punched the tiger, some travelers reach there and are shocked to see that a tiger is stuck in a cliff. But one of them thinks it's quite odd. He speculates that the tiger was attacked only once and he got stuck there. Hearing this, the rest of the people are shocked. He then tells the people to look at the 5 holes in his forehead. Just when he's about to say that it looks like the blood horse, all the people there are on guard. The man then just says that it looks similar and it's not them. Because if it were them, the area around the hole would be limp. But there are only 5 holes. What's more, the force exerted on the cliff would also be different for Bloodmaster. Then who could have done it? He has no idea, but there's something that's bugging him. He thinks that someone is imitating the blood horse. Imitating? Who would do such a thing? One of the soldiers asks. First, Jo Jae Gang was severely attacked by a Murim. Second, there were visible signs in the Murim rule that might have been thought to be an act of the blood horse. Third, when you look at this attack, he thinks that the one who did it is the same person who did that to Jo Jae Gang. But the one who attacked the gang seemed to be a Murim, and the one who attacked this tiger seemed to be like a blood horse. Is this something? Is that kingdom making it look like a blood horse? No way. He again speculates about the purpose of this master. It could be to create a war between Murim and the blood horse. At the Murim League, there is a sketchy person wandering around. He is greeted by some people. He asks how the preparations are going. His henchman says that it's almost finished. Back at the clinic, Baek Dohyun is back and hears everything that happened at the clinic after he left. She apologizes for losing his new 7-leaf ginseng, but she had no choice but to give it to the injured woman. He says that it's okay. She is really happy hearing this and thanks him again for understanding. Just then, he asks her how she will pay for it. She is startled. He tells her his money. She tells him that she had spent all the money on the clinic. He says that the clinic did look expensive, but he's renting it. She tells him that he can only stay for 1 night, and she will not let him spend another day. He then asks about the meal. She bursts out at him hearing this. It is almost dusk, so he asks about her destroyed house. She tells him that she has already reported it, but the authorities have done nothing about it yet. She tells him that the authorities were being mean to her. Just then, a mother comes running with her child to the clinic. She comes seeking help for her child. The doctor invites her in and starts examining the child. She notices that the child has very little energy left in her body and asks what had happened. Baek Dohyun predicts that she must have trained very hard and lost a lot of energy. The child's mother tells the doctor that she had eaten some grass in the mountains and she suddenly collapsed. The doctor is worried about what she had eaten and tries to calm the mother down. She tells the mother to go to a bigger clinic after she's done giving her first aid. She then asks him to bring her kit. After the first aid, she says that she has bought some time. She asks Baek Dohyun to go to a clinic and inform them about this. Baek Dohyun does not know where the clinic is. She tells him to ask the people in the rice store in front to call the clinic. He goes to the rice store and tells the people there. One of the people runs to the clinic to inform them about the situation. Since he has nothing to do, he plans to go to the broken house and look at it. After seeing the house, he notices that it is completely destroyed. If they can't catch the culprit, she won't even be compensated. Just then, he notices something on the roof. He climbs up the roof and sees that the bricks up there have fallen. As expected, someone had escaped that way. He follows the tracks and runs the path. He reaches the edge of the jungle from the broken tiles that he had discovered. He looks around the forest and sees some guys. He thinks that he should ask them and get information to go back and tell her. There were people in a fighting stance. The people in blue were about to lose at the base they were guarding. They couldn't guarantee if they would live or not. Just then, Baek Dohyun comes to them. Some people notice him and ask who he is. He tells them that he is the one who will catch the bad guys. The people in blue wonder if he's on their side and thank him. Baek Dohyun tells the people in blue that he doesn't even know if they are the bad guys. The people in blue ask him to look at them and judge for himself. Baek Dohyun tells them that he doesn't judge a book by its cover. The men in blue tell him that they are from the Murim League. Then a new player joins the game. The men in blue are relieved after seeing that another master has arrived. It's a blood horse's head, Sibsalgui. Sibsalgui tells them that they have good eyes for recognizing him from a distance. He tells the soldiers that he will pluck their eyes and then pull their tongues next so they won't be able to talk. The men in blue are all shaking after seeing the master, and they think that they should retreat. Baek Dohyun sarcastically says, "Wow, scary." The master asks what's up with that attitude. An experienced man says that he was just a passerby. Baek Dohyun tells the people in front that they are the villains and tells them not to curse him. The Murim soldier warns him that he is the master of the Blood Horse, a cruel killer who likes to beat someone to death, Blood Horse's henchman Sibsalgui. Again, his henchman comes in front and tells him that he is not only a henchman but the right arm of the Blood Horse. Blood Horse's right arm. Wasn't that the thing that the gang told him earlier? Anyway, it wasn't the first time that he had heard someone claim that they were from the arm of the Blood Horse. Baek Dohyun asks, "So how many arms does the Blood Horse have?" The henchman angrily tells him to be careful what he's saying. Just then, their leader pats his head and tells him that it has been a long time since he had seen a puppy. Enraged from anger, he tells him that he would pay for the crime of insulting the Blood Horse by death.
Thank you for joining us in this recap journey. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Comment if you have suggestions, want more of the series. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Do subscribe if you want more similar content. This is Aniversenexus, your passport to the immersive realms of anime and manga.